What's up, everybody? It's Adam from ZoinkMeister, and I've been playing the Modern Warfare Alpha 2v2. I wanted to put out this video regarding my thoughts, my experience with the game so far, how it feels, anything I feel that they can notably improve on, anything I really like, anything I kind of dislike. For the most part, I'm gonna go ahead and say there was nothing I actually dislike right away. Just want to go ahead and really break down how I feel about this game, because it does something special that I feel like the Call of Duty series hasn't done in a while. So let's jump in. Before we get any farther, I want to go ahead and excuse my terrible gameplay. So this is being played on the PlayStation 4. I haven't played a shooter on the PlayStation 4 in like what, 2 years, I think? No, it's been like a year. So I pretty much play all my shooters on PC now, so it's really weird jumping back into controller. As far as competitive shooters go, definitely getting back to controller is really weird. So I really hope that, you know, assuming that the PlayStation 5 will clearly have support for this game, since PlayStation 4, well, PlayStation 5, they're bridging that gap, that there's mouse and keyboard support, because really, I can't stress enough that shooters, they basically all just need to be on mouse and keyboard. It's not, oh, this plays better on PC or whatever. No, when it comes to shooters, mouse and keyboard isn't something that makes you better. It's just a much more efficient way to play. Moving forward, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So as soon as you click into the game, it does this little matchmaking, connecting to your servers nonsense, and then you go ahead and jump in the game. It only gives you two options at the moment, and that is the gunfight, and then the second option being the exact same mode, except you start out barefisted and there's guns and items on the field that you have to go collect. So besides that, they're basically the same thing, of course, except your preference on how you acquire weapons. The ones where you have loadouts already pre-appointed, they switch every couple of rounds, so that's important to note. Sometimes I do feel that you get kind of short-shifted on what you do, so I'd actually, some feel really organic the way they flow in terms of who gets what for gun choice, while others seem really unfair as opposed to what the other team has. Sometimes they have two assortments of full automatic assault rifles that have a nice medium to long range, while you just have a Desert Eagle as your main, and that feels really just not fair. But for the most part, I still do prefer the option where you start out with loadouts, because when it does work, it really does work very fluently. But that's just gun pairing for now. I wondered when you really dump into the nitty-gritty here. This game feels outstanding to play. It's almost like the entire Call of Duty franchise it's not going back to its roots anymore. It's maturing into something fantastic. I feel that this game, the short time I've played it, does something that the Call of Duty franchise really hasn't tried to push for. I mean, people are saying that the Call of Duty franchise, for the most part, was over the top, and then, you know, try to bring it back to normalization. But even when it was normal, it wasn't realistic. It was more along the lines of, you know, it has that feeling like, oh yeah, this is clearly like a fun game that's meant for fun shooting. But something about this Modern Warfare does something more realistic in terms of gameplay. So everything feels much more akin to what you would actually expect when you look down the sights of a gun of any sort. You kind of feel that, I don't know, it means more. It's not just zooming in real quick, click click, bang bang. It's more like you can feel the appropriate time, the appropriate usage of like camera adjustment when you go in for the zoom in, how it looks to look down. It doesn't look unrealistically video gamey. It actually looks really nice, to the point where I think this is one of the most beautiful takes on gunplay, just in general. It's really nice. It's something, yeah, you could hear my voice spout nonsense about it, but really look into the video, really feel that nice attention to detail. Even when you fire weapons, the recoil, the bounce back, the sway, it all feels really nice. It all feels like everything was really taken care of in terms of how should I put this? It's almost like the attention to detail was very meticulous. I really, really appreciate it. It's really nice. Fluidity, just your ability to move around the battlefield feels so much more. Sluggish is not the right word. It's more human. You have to get out of that video game mentality with this game. It really feels much. It doesn't feel better to move around because in real life, you know, the accumulating all of your weight of the weapon, your vest, that all feels like it's there. It feels like you feel legitimately heavy to move, but in a human way, not in a way that is like fabricated to be so. And for the sake of realism, it legitimately feels like the appropriated weight of having gear and a weapon really are just accounted for here. The sway feels humanly sluggish, and that's fine. I honestly do really appreciate just the feel, just the movement alone is something that is interesting. In terms of fluidity and movement, the only thing I don't like is the melee. Sometimes it's like if you have a gun, kind of just like poke them with the barrel real hard. It doesn't feel... It feels out of place compared to how realistic the rest of the game is. So that's about all in terms of fluidity. I feel that is honestly wrong, and that's not even like wrong. It's just like it's something that you'll see. Once you get meleeed, you're gonna be like, oh, that wouldn't have killed me. Like definitely wouldn't have killed me. Like, I mean, even like an actual hit to the back of the head with like, it had to be a well-placed hit to actually kill in real life, but probably knockout most definitely. But I don't know, for the sake of this game, it just feels out of touch considering how realistic the rest of the game is. Moving forward, what else should we point out here? Graphically, this is a very impressive game. I like it. There are some minor texture pop-ins that happen every now and again. I'm sure that's just because this is on the PS4. If you're having something more powerful, you probably won't have that issue. But for the most part, it wasn't something that was like in the way at all. In fact, it was very minor. The fact that I'm bringing it up is that I'm trying to nitpick anything I could think of at the last second. But for the most part, no, it was really nice. Game speed is quick. I've never liked that some guns take multiple hits to really get into you, because, you know, when it comes to realistic gunplay, pretty much any weapon for the most part, if you're not wearing like full-on sheets of Kevlar, you know, a couple bullets will put some damage into you real quick. And I feel like this game definitely has that down, where even what I feel would be a much weaker gun, no, you're gonna feel that, and it's gonna, the urgency of the pain that goes in is just great. You can see like the grayness. It adds a layer of tension that I think is just, it's very, very urgent. It makes you like, oh, you need to really, you know, account for your health here. Like, don't sleep on this in particular, because 3 bullets from even something weak can put you down real quick. So, you know, really be advantageous when it comes to strategic battlefield placement. The maps so far, they're fine. Nothing bad, nothing outspokenly good. They seem very 2v2-ish, which is, you know, the way this game is set up. You know, small based, covery. I will say the whole 2v2 aspect is really cool for an alpha. I just don't like this is something that you almost have to do with a friend, since the damage is so realistic. The way everything works is realistic. When it comes to being on a team with someone, you have to have that communication. So I really highly recommend, if you're going to try out this alpha before it ends, or if you're going to get the game in general and plan to do this 2v2 strat, you really need to have a friend. The communication level is a necessity. You will die constantly without it. Kill time is fast. You will die immediately because of all the damage, but also that you can't go around corners. You can't go around corners with the mentality that, yeah, I can get shot and just kind of creep around and I'll be fine. It's like, no, you really got to kind of pop out, look both ways. The mount aim function on the edge is very crucial. Take into consideration, you know, if you're gonna fail your buddy, you're gonna die quick if you don't have that you know, mindset. What else can we really point out? Oh, the sound quality of this game is great. I'm not gonna stress that enough. I'm playing with studio headphones, so it probably sounds much better from my point. But just the game sounded good. The pop from guns sounds good. The sound of your character as a whole sounds good. Footsteps are loud, which I don't like when they're just like a generic stock sound that plays over and over. They kind of feel like they're adjusting to whatever you're stepping on for the most part. What I like the most is in one of my many sessions I was playing, I was firing a handgun or something. I don't remember which in particular. A handgun of the sort. And as I was firing and walking backwards into a room, the second I actually was physically in the room, the sound of the firearm multiplied exponentially. It became so much louder. Like, I mean, and it had like an echoing effect. Like, the echo of the room was accounted for, and it was loud, and I was like, oh yeah, of course that'd be loud. I just went from full on outside to like in a small box room. Of course the sound's gonna ricochet everywhere, and it's gonna be just exponentially louder. And I think that was just outstanding. Like, the attention to sound detail I always like. Now again, I was playing with studio headphones on, plugged into a Focusrite, so it sounds real buttery smooth. But again, can't recommend it enough. This game, you play with studio headphones, play with a friend, play with mouse and keyboard, all great things. But this Call of Duty, I think, is something spectacular in terms of past track records. This feels like something that definitely has a place in competitive shooting, and I think given enough time and effort, and I'm really hoping that this one isn't messed up with microtransactions, I think this one can be really special, and I think it's something that the competitive field might actually really take eye of when it takes flight. Well, that's pretty much all my 2 cents of it. This has been Adam of ZoinkMeister. I know I haven't been posting that much. Spectacular job, Patrick, making sure the channel is still somehow making its non-official official quota of videos pouring out. I'll be getting more videos out there. I do apologize. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. My game in console studios is trash. So yeah, make fun of me in the comments. It's fine. I really don't care. As long as you're having fun. As long as it's all in good faith and there's no legitimate toxicity, then we're all good. It's been Adam of ZoinkMeister. You have a great day. Thanks for watching.